Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com, here to do your weekly intuitive reading for Monday, June 7th through Sunday, June 13th, 2021. For this week's weekly reading, we'll be using the Psychic Tarot by John Holland for the main message for everyone. We have a special message card for everyone, for the collective, from the Black Moon Astrology cards by Susan Shepard, and then your personal special message card, depending on your stone of choice this week, will be coming from the Yin Yang Oracle deck by Stellara. Just giving you some information that we are now into the first full week into the month of June, this new month where we have a new Moon Solar Eclipse that actually happens this week. So it's a pretty big month. There's a lot of planets shifting directions, a lot of planets changing signs. Of course, we have that eclipse. And we also have a Saturn-Uranus square this month, which I will be talking a little bit about in this week's video. So let's go ahead and start by taking a look at what your stones of choice are for this week. So I tried to choose some stones that I haven't used or even seen for a while here. I had to dig deep into my stash of crystals. Some of them are in containers all over the place, but this first one here is called Hallandite. I'm going to try to pronounce it correctly. Hewlandite. It's Hewlandite with stilbite. Now the Hewlandite is the red crystalline structure here at the base, and then the stilbite is this more cream colored stone that's growing out of the Hewlandite. So I think I'm saying that right. So the Hewlandite actually helps us to release karma. It's considered a high vibrational stone, and it actually helps us to journey to Atlantis, Lemuria, and Egypt, and help us to kind of release some sort of karma or karmic patterns that may be associated with those past lives there. It helps to give us courage and willpower to let go of lower vibrational energies like fear and anxiety, depression. And the stilbite part, because all of that was for the Hewlandite, the stilbite part of this stone helps to ground spiritual energy. And it helps us to focus and manifest our intuitive thoughts into action. Okay, so that was a kind of a cool double stone there. The next stone here is a nice, pretty good size hunk here of Amazonite. I haven't used this stone in a while. But Amazonite is known as, interestingly enough, it's known as the gambler's stone. So it helps us to bring, or helps to bring us, good luck and good fortune. It has a very soothing effect. It's got kind of that wonderful, beautiful turquoise blue color, which incidentally will activate the throat chakra, right? The throat chakra for speaking our truth. But it helps to soothe our nervous systems. It has that soothing, calming effect on the nervous system. It also helps to inspire the qualities of truth and trust, integrity, clarity, communication, clairvoyance, prophecy, and psychic vision. Okay. And then the last stone of choice, I don't think I've used this one. I don't think I've used any of these before, at least for a very long time. But this one, I know that I've recently found a little gem that I found here, and it's called Dragon's Blood Calcite. So Dragon's Blood Calcite, it helps to energize and motivate. Of course, it relates to the root chakra, which is about our physical vitality. The root chakra is also about matters of security and stability and focus. This also helps us to release stress and anger and fear, especially where it's rooted in the past. So not just the present, but also situations and circumstances of the past where some of those lower emotions lie. It helps to kind of release it from that perspective as well. This is considered a stone that's full of ancient wisdom, right? Dragon's blood, full of ancient wisdom. It's a stone of protection, and it has the ability to bring about great change, which kind of segues us into that idea of us having a new moon solar eclipse this week, this month, which was followed by that full moon lunar eclipse that we had on, was it May 26, which is all about endings and new beginnings that are magnified and intensified, and has a speeding up process with some of that. So again, your stones of choice are the heulandite with the stilbite, the amazonite, or that beautiful dragon's blood. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about the astrology for this week, okay? So we don't have too much going on Monday through Wednesday. You know, the moon is changing signs every 2.5 days like it always does, but we're going to go ahead and skip ahead to Thursday because that's the first place that we have something major going on, and that is when our new moon solar eclipse at 19 degrees of Gemini occurs. So I guess, you know, we could kind of mention that on Wednesday, the 9th, we're in the dark of the moon phase, right? The dark of the moon phase is always that phase right before we have a new moon. And a lot of times it's a really quiet and self-reflective time, and sometimes it often, I find, brings up or churns up some of our own kind of inner emotions. And because it's right before this solar eclipse on Thursday, I think that that's probably going to be the case. So the new moon solar eclipse, what is that all about? Well, new moons, as we know, are about new beginnings. And as I mentioned, the eclipse energies magnifies and intensifies those new beginnings. Now, this one is in Gemini, and Gemini is a sign of the mental realm. It rules our thoughts, ideas, perceptions, and communications. It rules information. It rules messages. So a lot of the new beginnings are going to be in that realm. So it's almost like a new way of thinking, a new beginning in the way of perceiving, believing, and thinking about something, and even in how we communicate as well. Now, that new moon solar eclipse is going to be connected to Mercury in Gemini, which is currently retrograde. So it's really going to, again, internalize some of that self-reflection energy. You know, we're really going to start thinking or being more aware of how do we really see, metaphorically or maybe physically, how do we see these circumstances and situations in our life? How are we perceiving ourselves or the circumstances in our life? What do we think about it? What do we believe about it? So a lot of that, now I'm not saying that there's no changes on the physical level, because again, this is a set of eclipses, right? We already had that full moon lunar eclipse that has activated the beginning stages of releasing, endings, completion, and letting go. Some of us may have seen some of that already in our lives. Some of us maybe not yet, because these eclipse energies don't just last for a few days, but they last for at least a few weeks. And some believe that the eclipse energies last until the next set of eclipses, which isn't going to be for quite a few months. So just know that if you feel like you haven't seen any endings or completions or initiations or new beginnings yet, that could still be on the way. And it's not to be fearful of that, because, you know, we can't, as human beings, stay in a stagnant place. If we stay stagnant and if we stay in sameness, then there's no growth and evolution. And a lot of times with these eclipses, the universe steps in to help shift us into realigning us to the place that we need to be. Now, again, remember that lunar eclipse was in Sagittarius, which is a sign of our belief systems and perceptions. The new moon eclipse, solar eclipse is in Gemini, still in the mental realm. So a lot of these endings and new beginnings just might be on a mental body level. So again, new ways of thinking, perceiving, believing, understanding, new information coming in that helps us to see the world and our circumstances with a whole new set of eyes. But again, some of you, depending on where it falls in your astrological chart, some of you may actually experience some endings and new beginnings on, you know, a physical level. Sometimes those physical level events and situations that change or end and then, you know, new beginnings, sometimes that helps to herald us into a new way of seeing and perceiving and understanding something. Okay, so on Friday the 11th, we have Mars, the warrior planet, the planet of energy, action, and forward movement. Okay, he's a fiery planet. He was in the sign of Cancer, which is a water sign, which kind of watered down his energy and watered down his forward movement. Now Mars, the warrior, is moving into fire sign Leo. So it's not his ruling sign. His ruling sign is fire sign Aries, but this is still a fire sign. So he's going to be more at home here, more comfortable here. He's going to be able to move forward a little bit more quickly, take action, be creative. Leo is a very creative sign, so it's going to put that energy and action of Mars towards our creative self-expression. And he's going to be in Leo all the way until July 29th. So we have, a little over a month and a half to utilize that, speeding up of things unfolding or things moving forward in some way. And we can take advantage again of Mars activating our creative self-expression. And that could be through writing, it could be through acting, it could be through initiating a project, being a leader in some way. It can play out in any way, but it's a wonderful energy to activate. And then on Saturday the 12th and Sunday the 13th, Venus seems to be highlighted. Venus is the planet of partnerships and relationships. She rules finances and our personal resources. She rules our values and how we value ourselves or our sense of self-worth. On Saturday, she's in Cancer right now, by the way. So, in Cancer rules home and family, empathic, intuition, emotional energies. She's very nurturing and caring and in a caretaking place here. And again, more attention, I believe, is paid towards home and family matters while Venus is in Cancer. And of course, soon, not yet, but soon we'll have the sun moving into Cancer as well. But with Venus in Cancer on the 12th, it's challenging Chiron, the wounded healer. Chiron brings up our past life wounds. Right now it's in the sign of Aries. It's been there for a while. It's going to be there for a while. So these are wounds about our sense of self, independence, leadership ability, confidence, courage, our take charge ability, our self-identity. So Venus challenges Chiron on Saturday. It makes a positive sextile connection to Uranus on Sunday, and then goes on Sunday to create a challenging aspect to Saturn and what's called an inconjunct. So one thing that stood out to me is that Chiron in astrology is known as the rainbow bridge, and it's the bridge planet or the bridge energy between Saturn, ruler of the third dimension, and the old paradigm of energies, and Uranus, the ruler to me of the fifth dimensional energies, the future, if you want to say, higher vibrational energies. So I found it interesting that Venus is connecting first to Chiron, bringing up these wounds, and then connecting to Uranus and Saturn the next day, which again, Chiron bridges these energies, going from third dimensional energies or fears or insecurities into this higher vision of the future with Uranus. One thing I feel from this is that there's probably going to be some things going on within our home and family area of our life because Venus is in Cancer. So as it's connecting to these three different planets, I think that there's going to be situations and circumstances that we need to pay attention to. Could be about personal resources within the home and family. Could be about old karmic wounds within the home and family. Feelings of insecurity. It could play out in many different ways. But I think we're going to find that some of this energy is tied in with those people that we consider our family, whether it's biological family or spiritual family. Also on Sunday the 13th, we have the sun, which is still in Gemini, and it's challenging Neptune in Pisces. So the sun is our, again, sense of identity, our vitality, our confidence, how we shine our light. Right now we're shining our light through the lens of Gemini, which again is all about communication, information, ideas, thoughts. And it's challenging Neptune. Neptune is the planet of the spiritual realm and rules, things that are magical and spiritual blessings. But we have to remember that this is a challenging aspect between the Sun and Neptune. It's considered a square or a challenge aspect. So we have to look at some of the shadow qualities of Neptune, which is illusion, confusion, delusion, not being grounded, seeing things through rose-colored glasses, not understanding things or things not making sense. And because the Sun is in Gemini, things aren't going to make sense with communications, with how we're seeing things, perceiving things. There might be missed messages or confused messages happening here. Of course, Mercury is retrograde right now, so that's definitely going to be the case. Now, one other thing I want to mention this week, and it doesn't happen as far as its exact connection until Monday the 14th, which is part of next week's reading. So we'll revisit it next week. But it's definitely worth mentioning because it's a big aspect. And this is between Saturn and Uranus. Now, I already said that Saturn rules the third dimensional reality that we live in, the old paradigm. It rules our concept of time. It rules authority figures, how we kind of operate the systems on the planet, and things of that nature. And it is challenging Uranus. Now, this is the second time this year that it's challenging Uranus. And Uranus, again, rules that higher vibrational, fifth paradigm of energy, futuristic, new technology, new ways of doing things, illumination kind of energies where we're seeing things from a higher perspective. To me, Uranus is like opening up your crown chakra and being able to channel forth higher information from God source, universe, great spirit, all that is, whatever you want to call that. So because they're challenging one another, again, this is the second time this year so far. I think the first time was February. I believe the last time this year is in December, and I think it even happens again as we move into 2022. But this is the breaking down of the old systems, the breaking down of the old ways, and us slowly but surely moving into rebuilding, into a new way of doing, being, perceiving, experiencing our planet on a collective level. So this can also happen on a personal level, which is why I'm bringing this up here at the end of this week's energies, because we're going to be feeling it. In fact, we have been feeling it for probably 2-3 weeks as it's been slowly building in intensity. Because they're slower moving planets, we have felt them as they've been increasing in their connection with one another. So again, this can simply be put as the old versus the new, right? Saturn, the past, the old. Saturn rules karmic lessons, karmic energies, karmic patterns. And again, Uranus rules this higher vibrational energy that we're moving towards. So we might find, again, Saturn is pulling us either into the past or we're needing to cleanse the karmic past. Uranus is trying to move us into the future or a new way of being, initiating these new energies. And so we're feeling that also personally as well as collectively. So that's a little bit about the astrology for this week. Let's shift our perception and perspective here, and let's take a look at what the messages from our angels and guides are for the week. Okay, so let's remind everybody what your stones of choice are for this week. So we have again that Heulanite or Heulandite, I have trouble saying that, Heulandite and Stilbite. Okay, and then we have that beautiful Amazonite. And then that third stone of choice for your special message card is the Dragon's Blood Calcite. Okay, so let's take a look at what our angels and guides have to say for the week. And okay, we start out with the Eight of Mental. And this is what it's called in this deck, which is like the Eight of Swords in the traditional tarot. The Eight of Mental says trapped in fear at the bottom, and it's quite apparent by how this person looks, the imagery in this picture, that they're behind a gate or in a cell, and they feel or consider that they're trapped. They're feeling held back. They're in fear. They're in anxiety. They're in despair. So this is one of the unhappy swords cards, right? A lot of the swords cards are difficult because, again, it deals with the mental realm. It deals with our ego way of thinking and perceiving things. Now, this isn't to give the ego a bad rap. We need the ego. Our ego, can give us this, sense of self-confidence and feeling of success and having these energies of being able to move forward on our path. But sometimes when the ego gets in a fear mode or an anxiety mode, sometimes it's very difficult to move out of. And this, again, has us starting out this week anyway. We'll have to see what the rest of the week says, but it has us starting out feeling a little bit anxious, a little bit fearful, a little bit, in that despair or depression mode, and not feeling trapped, not sure what to do, can't make decisions. The number 8 numerologically is about empowerment or owning our power. So in this case, this person is feeling very disempowered, feeling like they, can't really move forward. And some of that might just be because of the way they're feeling, that they don't have the energy, motivation, or vitality to move forward. Or there could be some blocks and obstacles that are standing in their way, at least in this moment, as far as moving forward. But let's go ahead and see. Actually, a card came out with this one, as you might have noticed. So let's see what that second card is here that came out with it. Okay, nice to see this. This is another swords card, or another card of the mental realm here. It's the one of mental. This is like the Ace of Swords. And you can see here it says triumphant success. Okay, we're going to push through whatever it is that's causing us to feel blocked or trapped or held back, or whatever is causing us to feel fearful or anxious or in despair. You can see that we're going to be victorious here. Now, it might not be easy. As you can see, this hand had to push itself out of the ground, and the ground is solid, right? The ground is, if it's packed down real tight and we're, our hand is underneath that ground, it's going to be difficult to push out of it. But we will, in fact, be able to push out of it and be successful and victorious and triumphant in doing so. So it's moving through these thoughts. It's moving through these perceptions or ways of perceiving something. And again, we're going to be able to have a new way of seeing something very soon. Of course, interestingly enough, we have that new Moon Solar Eclipse on Thursday the 10th. And, that's going to be about new beginnings. And as I said, it's in Gemini, which is the mental realm. And this is the Suit of Swords, which is the mental realm. So we're going to have a new way of understanding something, a new way of seeing or perceiving something, and a new way perhaps even in communication, at some point, whether it be this week or in some of the days or weeks to come. We're going to be able to move out of that 8 of Swords energy and into that wonderful new beginning of the Ace of Swords here. Let's see what the next card is. Okay, this is a major arcana number 11, and it's called Balance. Now, you might guess that in the traditional tarot deck, this is the Justice card, right? Typically, in the Justice card, there's a woman blindfolded holding the scales of justice. And actually, as I say that, I believe the Justice card, well, I know it did, the Justice card came out in the June monthly reading. So again, if you haven't watched that monthly intuitive reading for the month of June, because it's such an important month with a lot of energies taking place, you'll want to go and watch that monthly intuitive reading. The Justice card is what we vibrate to numerologically for the month, and it also came up in the monthly reading. So here it is again. And we have Master number 11, right? So Master number 11 is the light worker, the visionary, the one that is a leader who takes charge and makes things happen for themselves. And you can see that the 2 ones are in perfect balance. And actually, if we take that 11 and add those digits together to get the reduced vibration, it's a 2. Twos are about balance and harmony and equality. So you can see here that we're balancing different aspects of our lives. We're balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine, because the number 2 is a feminine influence. The number 1 for the 2 ones here are a masculine influence. So we're able to balance action or right action, which is the masculine, with being receptive and allowing and going with the flow, which is the 2 or the feminine vibration. So here in this rendition, instead of having a woman blindfolded with the karmic scales of justice here, we have an angel who looks very much at peace and in a balanced state of being, surrounded by a circle of golden white light here. And we have one of each of the suits. We have the swords, we have the cups, we have the pentacles, we have the rods. That's the typical suits in the tarot. So the swords is the mental realm, the cups is the emotional realm, the pentacles is the physical realm, and then the rods is the spiritual realm. So we're needing to balance all these different aspects in our lives this week, and I would suspect in the weeks to come, as we're moving through some of the shifts and redirections and changes that are coming about with these eclipses. But again, it looks like we will be able to do so. To me, that angel looks like he has his eyes closed in a meditation or self-reflective energy. So the more you can have some downtime, the more you can practice meditation, the more you can get out in nature, because that's sort of a meditation as well, the more you're going to be able to retain and keep this balance. And balance is going to be very important as we move throughout this week and throughout the month, I would say. All right, let's take a look at the last card here. The last card. Oh, we have Major Arcana 21, and this is called the Universe in this deck. In the traditional tarot, it's the World card. And this is about completion, successful completion or successful endings as we get ready for new beginnings to occur. This is about a karmic cycle coming to a close so that we can initiate a new energy into our lives. And again, this all flows very well with the fact that we have already gone through that lunar eclipse of completion and endings, and now we're upon the new Moon Solar Eclipse for new beginnings and initiations. So again, we have, this wonderful feminine looking face within the night sky or within the universe. It almost looks like a portal of energy here. Very calm, very peaceful. You could consider this maybe an angel or guide. You could consider that God or the universe itself. You could even consider that your higher soul self that's guiding you through this time of this ending of a cycle and getting ready for a new beginning. Either way, again, this, just like the balance card that we just looked at, the angel looked quite peaceful. This woman looks very much in a state of balance and peace. Remember, too, that, we can consider this a karmic cleansing that we're going through at this time with the eclipses, releasing old energies, just like I talked about Venus challenging Chiron this week, kind of a releasing and healing and cleansing of old karmic energies or the karmic past. And that's something that we go through cycles of, right? We're always in a cycle of ebb and flow. We go through cycles, the earth goes through cycles, the universe goes through cycles, and we're just in this particular cycle right now where it's a shifting that's happening, a shifting away from what we no longer need to carry, and a shifting into a new way of being, perceiving, thinking, seeing, experiencing. And this kind of is what the Universe card is all about. Now, it's Major Arcana 21. If we add the 2 and the 1 together, it's a 3. Numerologically, the 3 is about expansion. And when I look at this picture of the woman's face in the, in the universe and the stars, you could almost say that there is an expansion that's taking place here, an expansion and growth of your soul, an expansion and growth on a collective level as well, is what's taking place for all of us. Now, I said that there's a special message card here for everybody from my Black Moon astrology card. So I asked, I did this because we have that eclipse this week. I think I did it for the week that we had the lunar eclipse as well. But I asked what energy the collective needs to focus on as we move through this eclipse, this solar eclipse time period. So we got number 13. It's Aries. And the key phrase for Aries is I am. So there's a lot of things that strike me here. One is, of course, the red color, right? The red color, it's vibrant, it's energy, it's action, it's forward movement, which Aries is all about. Aries is about leadership, individuality, independence, and its vitality. You know, Aries is ruled by Mars, and all of these things that I'm stating, these key words, are what Mars rules. So there's an energy behind what's going on right now, and it's a physical energy, physical vitality. So there might be some things with physical health. There might be things with, again, confidence and courage of Aries, needing to take charge, kind of focus on that phrase of I am. I am a part of the whole. I am an individual. So you're both an individual and independent, but you're also a part of the whole, part of the universe. The other thing that strikes me is that this is number 13, which is interesting, right? Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so I don't know why they have this as number 13. But number 13 in numerology is a karmic number. And it's a karmic number of transformation, death and rebirth, and change. So I feel like we're going through, right, us as an individual, which is Aries, we're going through a death and rebirth. We're going through a transformation as far as on an individual and a personal level. We're going through this kind of, again, connection to root chakra energy, matters of security and stability. And oftentimes the root chakra does deal with financial security as well as, you know, emotional security, feeling, again, grounded and stable with the earth beneath our feet, feeling focused. We have Aries the Ram here in the background. So, of course, Aries the Ram, just like Mars, the planet Mars that rules Aries, wants to ram ahead. Let's ram ahead. Let's move forward, and let's not do it slowly. Let's do it fast, right? That's kind of that red color is a higher, you know, it's a vibrational color. I won't say it's a high vibrational color. You know, we think of like the purple and the indigos as high vibrational colors, but it's an energized color, right? This is like physical energy, vitality color. So there's a lot of physical energy being expended, a lot of physical energy that's pushing us forward. Persistence too. A lot of that feels like it's a little bit going into Taurus. Taurus is persistent and determined and whatnot. But again, the ram is going to ram ahead and move forward and wants to move forward quickly, which goes along with that Mars moving into Leo on Friday. So we'll have a little bit more energy and vitality physically, hopefully, to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the special message that you have depending on what stone you chose for this week. All right, taking a deep breath here and giving this a little shuffle. This is a bigger, thicker deck here, so I have to be careful not to drop them. But the first one was for the Hewlandite Stillbite people. Special message for this week for Hewlandite Stillbite people. Special message, Hewlandite Stillbite. I'm having trouble saying that. Okay, we have chemistry and passion. Okay, now that could definitely be in relationship matters. It could be endings and new beginnings within the relationship arena. Maybe there's an ending of an old relationship, a new beginning, a new initiation that's either started or on the way. Or it could be endings and new beginnings within a current relationship as well. Just an old, you know, releasing and letting go of old patterns within an existing relationship and moving into a new way of experiencing, you know, your relationship. This also, I feel like, doesn't necessarily just talk about romantic relationships. This could be about family or friendship, even potentially business. Now, the chemistry passion part, to me, you know, of course, again, if it's literal and it's a romantic relationship, can definitely mean chemistry and passion. But I also feel like this is about especially on an emotional body level, about emotional energy. These two lovers are in the water, and water is emotional energy. So I feel like there is like a synastry happening here, an emotional synastry. And again, not just within relationship with another person, but I feel like this is within relationship to yourself, relationship to your own higher self, relationship to your own sense of inner desire, passion, vitality, energy. That's what I also felt when I turned over this card. So again, look for that passion within yourself, which is sacral chakra energy. Sacral chakra is that sense of passion for life, passion within yourself, passion for living. It's not just about sexual passion, but it's about that creative passion for life. So I feel like that is the other message for those of you that chose that Hewlandite Stillbite, there I said it, crystal. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the special message for those of you that chose the Amazonite. Okay, now the one I don't know, this one right here, it's been on my forefinger and it's been calling me, so we're going to pull that for Amazonite. Ooh, I love this card. I always love getting it. It's feminine. It says feminine. Of course, I always think of divine feminine when I turn this over. So we can see that her third eye chakra is lit up. Her crown chakra is lit up. She's got light emanating from even her hand or her hand chakras. Now, what is feminine? The feminine energy, it's allowing, it's receptive, it's intuitive, it's psychic, it's healing, it's caring, it's going with the flow, it's trusting, it's having faith, it's gentle, but yet strong. So all of these energies are energies that those of you that chose the Amazonite should embody for this, at least this week, if not beyond this week. There's also something, of course, with those upper chakras, with your psychic sensitivities, maybe expanding your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your claircognizance, even your logical perceptions. Maybe they're merging with your intuitive perception. So intuition and logic kind of coming together to give you the best insight and the best information possible. We've got that light emanating from her, I guess it's her right hand. So there's some sort of healing energy there as well. Now, if that indeed is her right hand, that would be energy being projected out, healing energy being projected out, because that's the masculine side of the body. It almost looks like two hands, or it almost looks like she's holding the hand of someone else, and so I'm not sure about that, but definitely could be involving other people as well, the healing energy that needs to be sent to other people, maybe family, friends, loved ones. And I feel like this is just embodying a sense of peace, you know, that divine feminine of peace and staying balanced and not, you know, this is not reactive. This is someone who is very calm and at peace within self and kind of maintaining that higher kind of divine feminine outlook at this time, bringing in that healing energy. Okay, and then for those of you that chose the dragon's blood calcite. Let's take the little shuffle here. Dragon's blood calcite. Okay, this one popped right up. Dragon's blood calcite. Karma, balance, justice. Well, not only do we have the justice card for the month of June, and we had the justice or balance card come up for this week in June, but those of you that chose the dragon's blood calcite also have this energy dealing with karmic justice, or balancing the karmic scales of justice. And you know, I don't even know what else to say about that, because it's pretty self-explanatory. It's like you're releasing the old from this and previous lifetimes, old karmic patterns, old emotions or belief systems that are holding you back from moving forward in this life. You're being kind of realigned. I feel like this is kind of the universe stepping in and realigning you. So you might be initiating some of this healing and letting go for sure, right? but I also feel like the universe is really kind of on your side here and assisting you in realigning your energy, realigning situations in your life, realigning circumstances in your life. There may be situations and circumstances and maybe even people that you need to let go of in order to realign. And this is saying that, again, those karmic scales of justice are in the process of being rebalanced for you right now in this life. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening, watching. Thank you for those of you that comment, for like my videos, share my videos. Please subscribe to the channel and share the channel or share my videos with other people. I would love to kind of get out there to assist and guide more and more people if that's possible. And you are definitely part of my help, part of my journey as well. I appreciate all of your love and support, sending you lots of love and light during this time especially, but always, and sending you many, many blessings.